Jeff Norman, The Norman Report.
Steve Skrovan is a veteran comedy writer, having worked on such classic sitcoms as Seinfeld and Everybody Loves Raymond. He and Henriette Mantel made what happens to be one of my all-time favorite documentaries, An Unreasonable Man, about Ralph Nader. Steve is also the co-host of the Ralph Nader Radio Hour and the author of a great Substack publication called Bits and Pieces. But in his latest post, Steve said he was having trouble coming up with a funny topic because Donald Trump has ruined satire. Well, it's a great post, but I'm a little bit worried because you were saying that you think satire might be dead.
I was saying that
just weren't in the mood. Now, was that an affectation for your shtick for the article? Were you really not in the mood?
Oh, I was really not in the mood. And I do have my concerns about what Donald Trump has done to satire, in that he's almost made it a layup, too much of a layup, too easy.
Yeah, because comedy is often just sort of exaggerating the truth, and he's so exaggerated already. What can you do, right?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Well, you know who I understand what you're saying. I don't disagree, but there is somebody or a group of people, I'm not sure exactly who is behind this, that found a way to do it. Have you seen the Baby News Network? And there are various baby Trumps around, and this one in particular is better than all the others. Have you seen the Baby News Network?
I have not.
Oh, all right. Let me show you a clip or two.
Bill Maher came to the White House very nervous, zero confidence. He asked for a drink within seconds. His hand was shaking. I felt bad for him. Probably should have charged him for the steak.
He said, I was scared and nervous. I had one margarita before dinner, as people do. He's describing me like I walked in wearing a hospital gown.
I gave him the dinner of a lifetime, beautiful steak, the best wine, and he goes on television and acts like he survived a kidnapping. Very ungrateful, extremely low IQ. I'm basically his entire show at this point. Without me, his ratings are just him and a cameraman.
He buys you dinner, then expects you to put out. I'm not that guy. I told the truth. He was nice in person. And for that, I got 8 Truth Social posts before breakfast.
I call it like I see it, Bill. You came in shaking, you left happy, then you went home and bit the hand. The whole thing's a disaster.
He says, I have Trump derangement syndrome. No. You have Bill Maher derangement syndrome. I mean, you posted about me more times than you posted about Iran. And we're at war.
That's because Iran doesn't have a show on Friday nights with terrible ratings. Priorities, Bill. Priorities.
What do you think? Pretty good?
You know, anytime a baby talks like an adult, that's just inherently funny. So I applaud them for finding that format.
Here's one with Biden, an April Fool's prank.
It's okay. Donald. Congress just voted to give you a second term. Unanimous. You start Monday.
I knew it, Jack. I told Jill. Here's the deal. Where do I show up? Same building? I forget the address. I was there 4 years. You'd think I'd... Anyway, what were we talking about?
Same building, Joe. Just walk right in.
I'm putting on my suit right now, Jack. The blue one. Or the other blue one. Come on, man. I got to call Corn Pop. Well, he's dead, I think. Anyway, I'm back, baby.
Joe, April Fools.
What month is it, Jack?
And this man had the nuclear codes for 4 years. Nobody's ever seen anything scarier. And I've met Kim Jong-un.
All right. I won't bore you with endless clips. Now you've been made aware of it. You can check it out.
I will check it out. Yeah. It's similar. It's like in Trump's first term, there was a blogger named Sarah Cooper. She would just lip sync Trump.
Where are these ballots going? Who's getting them? Who is not getting them? Little section that's Republican. Will they be stolen from mailboxes as they get put in by the mailman? Will they be taken from the mailmen and the mailwomen?
Yeah, that was a great idea. She was really good the way she did that.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's focus on your post. These are like little tidbits, little morsels, little ideas that may or may not be developed into something.
This one you're referring to jumps from different subject. I talk about gender reveal parties and unsubscribing from emails, and
Yeah, I could really relate to that one. The request to unsubscribe, as if the request may not be granted. That's great.
that's right. We're considering it, your requests, and
What's it based on?
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to write an essay or something.
No, I'm not. That was the joke. I'm not applying to college here. I just wanted you to stop sending me shit.
Well, something in my own life mirrored that perfectly. My lease is up for renewal,
Yeah,
and I received this. But
Sure.
look at the part at the bottom there. I have to request a notice to vacate. I can't just leave. I must make the request.
that sounds like a potential hostage situation.
Yeah, it is. But I don't think anybody would pay ransom for me. That's the problem. It's just better tell my landlord to come up with another scheme. Then what else? Oh, when you're at a restaurant, that was another good one. When the server lauds you for your choices, one after the other.
When I ordered the gnocchi, she goes, amazing. And you get that, people, a lot of raters will go perfect, or but she was like, amazing. And then I ordered the next thing, the arugula salad. She goes, amazing. And now I figure I'm on a roll here. Do I risk ordering something else and not get my third amazing? It was like, let's make a deal. Do I just take the money and go? And I decided to go for it. And I said, and a side of Brussels sprouts. Amazing. It's like, ding, 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 ding.
Let's bring in the other servers here. And
it was like confetti should have gone up, yeah, that was, and then, but then I thought, she probably says this to everybody, and then, but I did eavesdrop on, there was a couple next to me who just sat down, and no amazing. Wasn't so amazing.
oh, did she go in the opposite direction and say,
Well,
you could do better? Try hard. You're not really trying.
She could have. That would have been a funny addition to the bit. But it was just a couple of okays. So I thought, I really am amazing.
I've noticed that I guess it's younger people have started in the last couple of years to say super excited a lot. Like if there's a new version of something or other out, like the 3.0, I'm super excited to announce this. And it's like, you know what? It's excited is enough. Just plain excited. You're gilding the lily with that super excited.
Sharp.
What's the worst thing that a waiter or server can say to you?
Don't worry, I'm not contagious.
Oh, that's bad. That is bad. What's the last thing you want to hear after you give Willie Nelson a blowjob?
I've heard this joke. What is the last thing you want to hear after giving Willie Nelson a blowjob?
I'm not Willie Nelson.
I don't even know, the whole idea of that it's a positive thing that you're giving Willie Nelson a blowjob.
So this podcast is now rated PG.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
That's fine.
Well, you must be. I know that you're on the woke side of life. With all due respect, you can
wide awake.
You can yes, you can insult anybody any way you want, as long as you say with all due respect.
That's right.
Yeah, with all due respect, you're kind of woke. So you must be happy that there's some things to mock in Trump world, right? I mean, MAGA is turning against Trump. And did you see Melania's totally unexpected, weird, I guess you would call it a press conference, although she didn't take questions when she talked about Epstein? Did you see that the other day?
Yeah, I did.
Do you have any take on that? Like, why did she do that?
I don't. Well, my take is not any more sophisticated than anybody else's, which is she's trying to get out in front of something, and sort of take the steam out of whatever revelations might be happening. But
we just don't know what that something is. But that's probably
don't know what something. Well, there's some speculation that there's this other model that has. Will spill the beans on her connections. And I mean, it seems pretty wild that she says, I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. And, it's,
But so what if she did? I mean, I don't even understand why knowing him is such a. I mean, she's not going to run for office. It's not a crime to be socializing with a person of ill repute.
Yeah, but I guess maybe she's probably more concerned about the social implications of that. Not the criminal ones. It's
yeah. Here's a little clip or two put together from that. I don't know what to call it. Speech? Yeah, I guess you would call it a speech.
Yeah.
Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone.
Now is the time for Congress to act. It's the exact opposite of what her husband did.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy because they obviously do not speak to each other. And here he started a whole war. One of the side benefits for him is that it takes the Epstein out of the news. And then right in the middle of this, she re-ups it. So it's an interesting marriage.
Yeah. Now you say obviously they don't talk. Is it obvious? I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's just so weird that I don't know what to make of it.
Didn't he say he didn't know she was going to do that?
Oh, yeah. So now your position is that Donald Trump always tells the truth? Is that
you got me, Jeffrey.
So there's certain logistics involved when you're going to do a press conference in the White House.
Yeah.
So what? She said, I'm going to do a press conference, but I'm not going to tell any of you what it's about. I mean,
it's crazy. And, because my wife and I, we don't have people to coordinate. I can say, go tell Shelley that I've got a baseball practice scheduled for Tuesday. They actually have people who can communicate. They don't even have to talk to each other. They got people who can be their intermediaries. They get maybe their calendars together.
Yeah. And then I don't know if she used a teleprompter, but there's like staff who operates the teleprompter. Yeah. People would see what she's going to say. So, don't tell Donald. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you think Donald might go, well, what are all these cameras moving into here for? What guy? A couple of lighting guys just passed by in the hallway. What's going on?
Now, did you hear that word, that something or other about the images? It sounds like you said calculating on social media. Did you hear that word? Here, let me play it again.
Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media.
On social media?
I think maybe percolating on social media, she meant. It's just like Trump when he said
calculating on social media.
I bet she meant to say percolating on social media.
All right.
It's like Trump saying the Iran thing is an excursion as opposed to an incursion.
What about this whole Epstein stuff? I think it's what I hate about it. I mean, I think it's potentially useful in terms of revealing, how power really operates in this country. But what I hate about it is that we don't normally use governmental agencies to release information about people who haven't been charged with a crime. So all this stuff has been released. Everybody's being smeared for just simply socializing with Jeffrey Epstein. And it's this witch hunt. And I really have my doubts that there's hardly anybody that could possibly be prosecuted, at least at this point. I mean, it would be one thing if you're really going to nail people who deserve it. You know what I mean?
The whole cover-up of this has kind of forced that, okay, now we have to see everything. And like you say, there are people who could be smeared who were just, had nothing to do with or were unaware of his crimes. These poor kids who were exploited, at the least they can hope for is that these people are shunned, even if there's not a legal, there's not enough corroboration or enough hard evidence to make it go beyond he said, she said.
So it's our role to shun, you think?
Well, I think society, we do that, just naturally when when somebody is acting inappropriately, whether it's criminal or not. And, that's the
Will you be how enthusiastically will you be shunning Eric Swalwell?
It sounds like he's a creep too.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I mean, I won't say I knew that the specific stuff was going on, but he always seemed like an asshole to me. So
it's weird because everybody I talk to is inside politics. So much sex. It's like, I don't know. Is it these guys are going to politics because they couldn't get laid?
Well, maybe it's power. Like, celebrities have more sex than usual because they have power, right? Groupies.
Well, yeah, but the difference is like in Hollywood, the people are good looking. People in Washington.
Look at that guy. He's a stud.
Oh my God.
It's a bad look.
About as far as,
you see, satires are not dead. The evidence is mounting.
What's that second word? Deus, God, what?
It's, I forget the word, but it's some kind of religious slogan. Speaking of religious slogans, Trump apparently went too far for a lot of people.
Yeah.
He took this tweet down.
Yeah. It's how clueless is he to do, I have some Christian nationalist acquaintances who revere him for, I assume it's because he will make sure that they don't get, they'll keep their tax exempt status. But I'm interested to hear about what the Christian nationalists have to say. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has already weighed in. It's so delusional on his part.
Now, are you commenting as just, based on what you know to be the attitudes of his base, and just it's like he failed to read the room, or are you personally offended by that?
I'm not personally offended. Oh, I'm personally offended by the hubris of it.
Well, I asked, if you are personally offended because I normally hate people who attach all this significance to the fact that they're, offended. The unacceptable. That attitude.
How dare you?
No, not at all. I mean, it's hard also for a comedian to because that's kind of what S.J. Perlman said was the office of comedy to offend. So,
right.
What offends me are the Christian nationalists who use who interpret this Jesus, this John Wayne macho, badass ass kicking Jesus that 12 years of my going to Catholic school does not recognize at all.
Yeah. But they also want, like you said, you made a good point before. It was kind of a throwaway, but I thought it was a good point that, they support Trump because maybe he'll keep their nonprofit status or other things too, like, that chance of abortion being outlawed or more restricted. So it actually makes sense. And I don't really agree with this with people who say, oh, they're hypocrites, because I don't think they've claimed that they love his personal life. It's just that they're quite logically deeming it irrelevant that he said, he used to grab their pussy at a nightclub years ago, because it doesn't mean anything in terms of the presidency.
Well, but it's also a lot of them have likened him to the savior sort of figure and this imperfect vessel of Christ. And now Trump has taken that and basically said, I am Christ. And that crossed the line for a few of these people. They shouldn't be surprised because they were pushing him in that direction. And a guy who is this self-aggrandizing is eventually going to take it to the next step, which is I'm your savior and I'm Jesus.
Right. Yeah, I think it's one of the only times that Trump has yielded to disapproval from anybody. I mean, I don't think he'll actually apologize, but by deleting the post, that's yielding to their displeasure, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he hasn't deleted too many things.
Or in any way given in. I mean, that's one of the things I like about him, actually, because I hate political correctness, And, you know, over and over again throughout the years, people have gotten into trouble, and then, you know, they have their career canceled, or they're suspended or fired for a long period of time, and they just cower. And I kind of liked that Trump refuses to cower, because usually,
Yes, although, yeah, there's this idea of masculinity that bothers me, coming from that quarter. And part of it is, you're going to be tough. You double down. It's not manly to apologize or recognize fault. And I think that is not true. I think being able to apologize and being able to recognize you've made a mistake is actually a sign of strength and not weakness. And I think it's just a sign of Trump's weakness that he can never do that because he's so afraid of being a loser.
yeah, well, okay, that's fair enough. But I'm talking just more specifically about humor that offends. Now,
Humor is, but this is not. Trump didn't mean this to be humorous.
yeah, well, okay.
He was.
What about Louis C.K.? I don't think he meant it as humorous when he masturbated or asked to masturbate in front of some of his female friends.
Yeah.
We were talking before about shunning people.
Yeah.
And so Louis C.K., I don't know how many years ago it was that this happened. I think most people know what I'm talking about. A scandal erupted a few years ago in which it was revealed that Louis C.K. had masturbated in front of other female comedians, some of whom worked sort of for him. He was, I guess, a producer on a TV show. In other cases, asked if he could do it. And it was in the news again a few days ago because Netflix, I guess they were one of the companies that severed ties with him for a period of time. But now they're back in business with him. Yeah. And they're going to do a concert, I guess, at the Hollywood Bowl, and he's going to have a Netflix TV special. And some people are very upset about it, including this guy, Eric Deggans, who is a media critic for NPR, and he has a Substack post out. And he is, he wants Louis C.K. to grovel. And I think it's going too far. What do you think about I know you said earlier that it's sort of just inevitable that people shun him, but here's a very specific example. Is it the role of media companies or the public to shun Louis C.K., and in what manner and for how long?
Well, I think that's a personal decision for individuals. And, I saw Louis. I didn't know Louis. I was a New York comedian in the 80s and pretty much left in 89 before Louis arrived. So I don't know him. But a few years ago, before all of this happened, I got to see him at the Dolby Theater and was able to go backstage and actually meet him. And his set at the Dolby Theater was amazing. I mean, he is one of the funniest people on the planet. And when I went back, and what was amazing about his set, and this is maybe inside baseball comedian stuff, is he started with a bit about abortion. He opened with a bit about abortion, and it was really funny. And when I went backstage and I met him, I said, "You opened with abortion?" And he goes, "Yeah, that used to be my closing bit. And when I've kind of refined and polished the closing bit, I put it at the front of the act and then developed another closing bit. And then when I polished that one up, I keep moving it to the front of the act." And I thought that was an amazing discipline and an amazing way to keep everything you do with an edge. And so
they're the two key points of the show: is your opening and your close. I mean, why not open with something that's really, really strong?
Well, because it's so when you're warming, as a comedian, I don't know if you've done stand-up, you start, you got a lot of us, you warm up, you start out with some things and then you would get into things that are more controversial, sexual, or once you got their trust. Now, I mean, he was at a point in his career where people, they were all fans of his, so he, that helps too. but I thought it was a
Oh, so you're making a comment about like that he hasn't really won them over yet. It's not yet time to do something that's a little bit risky.
for most of us, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you don't start with the most controversial thing, because how do you top that?
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're always thinking. So you're always putting your best thing that you really can't top at the end. But he was taking this thing and putting it at the front, and then he was able to you know, follow himself. So when this happened, you know, I felt sad, because I thought, oh, this guy he's really funny, and I like this TV show. It's just very original. And I thought, well, you know, what he was doing was, you know, creepy and manipulative, but I didn't think it didn't rise to the level of a Cosby or a Harvey Weinstein, who, you know, actually raped people. It's just kind of pathetic kink. And so as far as him getting a Netflix special now, I feel like Louis has paid his debt to show business, or, you know, society, and will continue to pay it, because some people just won't look at him the same way. And that's the price he pays, is that there will be some people who just can't enjoy him as much, having that in mind. So, but
And I accept that there are people like that, but they don't seem to accept the opposite. They want everybody, you know, they get upset if the rest of us aren't also shunning him. And that's what this guy, Eric Deggans, is, you know,
Yeah.
that's his attitude. And they made one of the women who wrote the New York Times article that broke the story, made a documentary. Let's take a look at a clip from that.
Okay.
You know, one of the things that helped frame my thinking around it as I was writing it, and was just, what if you worked in a bank and you were like a regional manager, and you were in another office for a conference, and another regional manager came up and said, "Can I jerk off in front of you?" What? You, like, that would be horrifying to you as a professional in that context.
Now, you're the perfect guy to ask about this, because you have been a writer / producer on sitcoms.
I'm so glad you said that, and just because you have in front of it.
Because you were always very polite before you masturbated for your female colleagues. You would always make sure it was in the context of a request instead of
Yes.
anything.
Well, that apparently was what Louis did. But before you finish your question here, I do have a joke along these lines, because I don't understand this kink, and I understand, and this joke is dated because it's about Weinstein, but he used to like jerk off into the potted plants. And so my joke is, that's why all of Harvey Weinstein's potted plants look like him.
Okay. The DNA, they'll get you every time. Yeah, you say you don't understand this kink. Well, I don't know that we need to understand it, but you gave a good example of how it's a fetish that exists. It's basically exhibitionism. I mean, years ago, it was like the stereotypical guy in a raincoat, you know, opening his raincoat, right? So, you know, just different ways to manifest that. If you look at porn sites or a list of fetishes, it's one of them. So whatever. I mean, I don't care. What's that Bob Dylan line? If you could read my thought dreams, they'd put me in a guillotine, you know?
Yeah, right.
Everybody has some fetish, so I don't care. I'll say this, though. I don't know. I'm too far removed from the situation to have any strong opinion about it. But to the extent what Louis C.K. did was in the realm of pressuring people or harassing them, that is highly objectionable.
Right.
To the extent it was in the context of a request, much less objectionable. But what I started to say about you being the perfect person is, I thought that was a terrible point this woman made about, you know, comparing it to a bank situation, because that's not at all what comedy is like. He was like, you know, the producer or whatever, but he probably didn't think of himself as their boss. So what do you think, as somebody who actually has been in this environment, can't you see how, like, you know, he's probably saw them as just fellow comedians, and he wasn't really like a boss saying, you better go along with this or you're not going to get promoted in this, you know, in this world.
Yeah, I don't, you know, I can't get inside of the head of the women who, you know, had to witness this or So, I got to take their word for it. Comparing it to the bank teller, I'm not quite sure what the completion of her thought is. Does that mean you can never work in another bank? You have to get to another business?
I think her point was that that's clearly unacceptable, and so is what he did.
Yeah,
Meaning it's just as outrageous what he did. And I'm saying I don't think it is just as outrageous, because the whole, the whole work ethic is different.
No, but he wasn't. This wasn't in the context of comedy. These, he wasn't like in the writer's room and, hey,
Well, I think sometimes he was.
like,
I mean, it's been a long time since.
No, I think mostly these were private things where, they were at his apartment or something, or I think even on the phone with somebody.
Yeah, somebody complained that she sensed that he was jerking off on the phone. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of creepy, but I don't know that it's like his worst offense, because
I mean, he's got to pay the price for being creepy.
Yeah. By the way, I noticed the camera is above your chest area, so I have no idea what you have going on below that. I have a sense of something, but
hands are right here.
Yeah, don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not rapey. It's creepy.
Yeah.
And I don't think I won't quite look at Louis the same way.
Right.
Although, so it may take the edge off of my pure enjoyment of his comedy, and that's the price we all pay, as an audience, and the price that he pays as the performer. But
so before, while you were talking, I was flashing some quotes from the very priggish Eric Deggans. This is the worst one. I put in bold that last sentence. This is what Eric Deggans has decided Louis C.K. must do to win his way back into show business. The last line is, he wants Louis K. to constantly provide assurances that he'll never, ever do it again. I mean, fuck you, Eric Deggans.
Yeah. I thought he did apologize in some form. Maybe it was not a...
Well, that's another thing. These people aren't happy with the exact wording he said. He took responsibility for it. He said that he was insensitive about how he was in a power position. It's kind of like why I was making that point. He didn't really see himself as their boss, and he says, I guess I should have. So
yeah.
But he's just a guy who walks out on a stage and speaks into a microphone and tells jokes. So why do we have to, as a society, worry about that? Why do we, as a society, have to punish him forever?
Well, obviously we aren't. This particular guy has an objection. If we were punishing him totally as a society, then this guy wouldn't have to write that article. So,
yeah, he's upset.
Like Louis is being completely canceled, eliminated from history. Otherwise, he would have this particular guy would have no beef. I don't subscribe to his point of view either, but I do feel a little sad that I probably can't enjoy Louis as much as I could have, just knowing this thing that I shouldn't know about him.
See, I have no problem just putting out of my mind. I don't even have to make the effort to put it out of my mind. If I'm watching something, whether it's a movie or a song or whatever it is, I never think about what their personal life is. I'm not into some of these political rants that Bruce Springsteen spews from the stage. But if I'm enjoying the music, I enjoy the music. What do I care? Same with Woody Allen movies, Roman Polanski. Do you sit there thinking about Woody Allen possibly having molested his daughter or stepdaughter years ago, or do you just enjoy a Woody Allen movie if you like it?
I look at Woody Allen a little bit differently, and it's not, and it's not a conscious thing. It's just kind of subconscious, and it makes maybe something a chuckle rather than a belly laugh, because you've got this knowledge that you probably shouldn't have, or you wish you didn't have.